It's your girl Shanu Couture, and by the name of this title, all of you will know what I'll be discussing in this video. So I've always been interested in race, culture, ethnicity, along those lines. Always been interested in it. I always find myself like watching different YouTube videos and all that on that topic, mainly on mixed race people. I remember I watched like a brief documentary about like mixed race people in Germany. So like, yeah, Europe, America, of course. Like, race is such a huge deal. Like, it's a humongous deal. It's a massive deal. It's a big deal. Race, culture, all that. It is like in your face, right? Now, what I noticed is that no one really in Canada, let's say Toronto, let's say, you know, the GTA, because that's where I live, no one down here never made a video or never discussed this. And I lived in Canada, GTA, like all my life. So race, culture, all that isn't really a big deal. It's not like in your face like with America, right? It's more like under the blanket. What's the right word I can say? It's very subtle. It's not like in your face, right? Of course, Toronto, the GTA, is very multicultural. People are still interested in your race, who you are, especially like if you're a mixed person. I noticed they're like very intrigued, you know, like you look different, like they want to know, yeah, it's very subtle, especially if you're racially ambiguous, like yours truly. I'm racially ambiguous. Most people think I am just full black, or they don't know what I am, so they just stare at me. Some people don't like when other people say that you look exotic, but I don't mind because I know I do. I know I look different. I don't look like everyone else, right? And I embrace that. Who wants to blend in? No one wants to blend in. Everyone wants to stand out, right? But if you can just stand out without trying, that's a bonus. So yeah, so I'm racially ambiguous. So I bet all of you guys are wondering, especially the new subscribers that came on board on my channel, the new loyal ones. I guess all of you guys are wondering what my background is. What's my ethnicity, race, whatever. So I am mixed with Jamaican and Chinese. So down here, growing up down here in the GTA, the area that I live in, right, being mixed with Jamaican and Chinese down here is not common. It's like non-existent. It's very rare you'll meet someone that's also mixed with Chinese, but for the most part it's like non-existent. I remember in high school there was one person that was mixed with Chinese, but I never spoke to her. I remember, I think a couple years ago, I saw a lady that's mixed with Chinese. She's like, "Are you mixed with Chinese?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "Me too." I don't get that very often down here, so that was like a very exciting moment. She was older than me, like a lot older than me, but the fact that you got to see like another person mixed with Chinese and we all look different, you know, like me, I have big features. I have the big eyes, the big lips, like I just have big features, right? If you stare at me, you can see it, otherwise you'll probably think I'm something else. But the most common mix, like when it comes to being mixed with some kind of Asian. The most common mix down here in the GTA in Toronto is Filipino and black, like some kind of black. Like that is the most common mix down here. So but Chinese and Jamaican, Chinese and black in general, that's not a common mix here where I live. Some people don't believe that I mix with Chinese, even now, like now and then, but there's a lot of people that can see it. Like I said, if you stare at me, you can see it, but if you don't, then you won't see it. So there's some people that say that I don't look it, and there's some people that say like, yeah, I see it, and there's some people that just know right off the bat. I don't even have to say anything. But I guess that's a part of being racially ambiguous, right? And then recently I've been getting, when I mentioned that I'm also Jamaican, recently people been saying I don't look Jamaican. Like what? Like what's a Jamaican person supposed to look like? Like there's white Jamaicans, there's Indian Jamaicans, there's Chinese Jamaicans, there's Jamaicans that's my complexion, there's Jamaicans that's darker than me, a medium complexion. Like there's all shades and races and, you know, mixtures in Jamaica. Like Jamaicans are not just one shade. And I remember I was talking to someone and he asked me what my background was, and I told him. And well, this happened on multiple occasions, but with this one I told him, and he's like, I just said Jamaican, because sometimes I like play a little game. I just said I'm Jamaican, and I noticed most people, they're not satisfied with that answer. They want the whole like shebang, you know what I mean? Basically what he's trying to say is that he only thinks Jamaicans are only one shade. And doesn't think there's many different shades and mixtures. It's a melting pot in Jamaica. There we go. Right? So, but at the same time, down here in Canada, in the GTA, there's a lot of Jamaicans down here, and there's a lot that is only a darker shade. So at the same time, I do understand that he would think that there's only a darker shade of Jamaicans, right? Because vast majority down here is a darker shade, right? So you don't really see much variety of like the Jamaicans down here. One older gentleman asked me the same question, what's my, you know, ethnicity, race, you know, all that. And again, I told him I'm Jamaican and Chinese. This other man said the same thing, that I don't look Jamaican. So it's like a lose-lose situation. Like, I don't look Jamaican, I don't look Chinese. I know what I am. I am Jamaican and I am Chinese. I'm Canadian born. I'm not born up in Jamaica. I'm born in Canada, in the GTA. But my background is Jamaican and Chinese. So that is what I am. Canadian, Jamaican, Chinese. Ta-da! So, and I'm proud of it. Love the skin that you're in, and you have to embrace it. And if you can, if you're not lazy, learn about your culture. Like, I already know loads about my Jamaican culture. I don't really know much about the Chinese culture. Like I said in my previous video, I think it was the mixed race, the mixed girl type video, I have to do like research to learn that, because if I ever want kids, if there's a big if, like, to be honest, I don't want any kids, but then again, you never know what the future holds. So if, with a capital IF, I have kids, I like to teach them their Chinese culture too, because they can't just know one. It's good to know like all of who you are, and you know, they shouldn't let other outside voices tell them no, you're just one. Like what I've been seeing, I've been doing some, you know, casual research, and I enjoy this topic. There's a rule called the one drop rule, which means you only have to pick one side of who you are, which makes no sense. Like, why? What? Okay, it makes no sense. If you're Jamaican and Chinese, you're Jamaican and Chinese. If you're black and Filipino, you're black and Filipino. If you are black and white, you are black and white. Like, if you're black and Spanish, if you're white and Spanish, if you're white and Chinese, like whatever your mix is, embrace all of that. And that way, when you have children, you can teach them all of that. Like in my case, because I'm racially ambiguous, and if I have any kids, right, obviously they're gonna be racially ambiguous. If they have like any questions or concerns, at least I can relate to them at some sense, you know, so it would be like easy to talk to them and tell them whatever their question or situation is, because it's very relatable. And down here, race is like very hush-hush, very subtle, but it's not in your face like with the Americans, like in your face. It's not like that. And then with like Europeans, it's not like, from what I notice, they discuss it too, but it's not as big as a discussion as the Americans, and then Canadians just don't mention it at all. Like what I noticed on internet land, on YouTube, is like not mentioned at all. But in real life, living down here in the GTA, in Toronto, it's mentioned, but very subtle, like very subtle. I said that many times in the video. You get my point, you get my point. It's subtle, it's subtle, okay. They're just trying to figure out, like, I notice they look at you like a certain way. Like there's a certain way that they look at you, like they want to know, like it's bothering their mind, right? And when you tell them, they're like, oh, that's so cool, I haven't seen that before. It's fun to see them. Like, I know what you're thinking, I know, just spill the beans, spill the beans, I'll reply nicely, spill the beans. But yeah, and I had this other person I was talking with, and again I mentioned I'm Jamaican and Chinese, and then he's like, I got this more than once, and he's like, oh, you're Jamaican and Chinese, I can tell the Jamaican from your hair.
That's good.
From my hair? Okay, that's a first. I never got that before. You can tell I'm Jamaican because of my hair. There's people that's Jamaican that have straight hair, that have looser curls than me. Very different, but fun to hear what these people have to say. And then another one, I have to tell you another one. So this is all about like being racially ambiguous and everything, right? So, and another one is your mixture is like unique. And then they wonder, right? You see them wondering. So I had this other person I was talking with, and he was telling his son, I don't know, like his son, his grandson, a guessing game. And I heard, but I just pretend I didn't hear. And then finally he's like, oh, I was just telling my son. Because if you're the obvious type of mix, then they're not gonna like have any like doubt in their mind, none whatsoever. Like your mixture is like unique. And then they wonder, right? You see them wondering. And then finally he's like, oh, I was just telling my son that you must be Dominica, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not Dominica, right? So he got it wrong. I'm like, I'm not Dominica. That's at first I got that too, Dominica. I'm like, no. And he's like, what are you? And I said, I'm Jamaican and Chinese. And then he mentioned, and then this is what he said. He said, you have your hair of the Jamaican and your complexion of the Chinese. And I'm like, I didn't know how to respond to that. I'm just like, yeah, I guess. So even down here in Canada, in Toronto, the GTA, skin complexion is a big deal, but subtle. It's subtle. It's not in your face. It's very subtle. Because if you're not aware of it, it will just like pass you by. But if you're very like observant like me, and you're aware of things, you would notice all these things. Okay, and yeah, so color, skin tone is a thing down here too, because when I go to the black stores, I notice there's a lightening creams, like the beauty store, I should say, beauty store, black store, whatever. There's lightening creams for your skin to literally like make your skin my complexion. Now, it doesn't matter if your ethnicity is not white. Skin being as light as you can be is a very sad thing that people do. So it happens in the Indian community, black community, Asian community. So any ethnicity that's not white, they all deal with skin like being as light as possible. Like, I'm not about that life. I'm just embracing the skin I'm in and loving who I am as a person. It's how I was created, and I'm very thankful for the aesthetics I was blessed with. And you guys should be very thankful for your aesthetics that you've been thankful with. Even if you're not mixed, let's just keep it real. Even if you're not mixed, be thankful, okay? But that's what I wanted to mention in this video. Don't take it out of context. I'm just telling you guys my experience in my day-to-day life and with being racially ambiguous and how it is down here in Canada and the GTA from my perspective and from what I noticed. I hope this video was insightful or interesting from my end, from a Canadian girl, Jamaican-Chinese background. And hope you guys enjoyed it. And please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. And this video was epic. I was itching to make a video on this. Don't make this video a controversial video. It doesn't need to be controversial. I'm just telling you guys my experience from what I see, from what I notice, and what I been going through or always been going through in my day-to-day life. So hope you guys like this video, and again, please like, comment, and subscribe, and support your girl. And you guys will see me in another video. And remember, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. No.